I hate crawl spaces, but I had to hook up an ice maker line and saw this under the house. Sorry, I only have one photo. If it helps, the house was built in 1950 and we just moved in, so I have no idea on the history. Does anyone have any idea what it is? It's a 1960s Burns-O-Matic FD-136 fire detector, a wall-mounted heat-activated fire alarm that sounds a loud air horn when temperatures reach 136 degrees Fahrenheit, hence the FD-136 designation. It uses a non-electric pressurized gas canister that melts a solder seal upon heat detection, releasing the air and triggering a loud horn. In many examples, there's a front flag or color indicator, green when unused, orange or red when the gas canister has discharged. After activation, the gas is gone, and the unit must be replaced. What is this thing found in our apartment? My girlfriend found this when we moved in. It doesn't belong to either of us, and we've never seen it before moving in, so we think it was probably left by the previous tenant, an older woman who moved out. She found it in the medicine cabinet, and we have no idea what it is. Any ideas? It's a 1920s to 30s glass lapel flower holder vase boutonniere pin. A tiny glass vase with a pin attached to it to be worn with a live flower. The little vase is flat on one side so that it sits properly on the lapel when pinned on. These were probably created for a wedding or bridal shower. Here's an antique dish from the USA from my grandma's house. She says her grandma, born in the late 1800s, bought it. If we could get an identification on it, we'd be really appreciative. Thanks in advance. It's a Fenton Carnival glass, Persian medallion pattern, which was produced from 1908 to 1931 when it fell out of favor, but there was also a revival of sorts in the 70s. It was made by the Fenton Art Glass Company of Williamstown, West Virginia, and was primarily used as affordable decorative tableware and household items designed to brighten homes with its iridescent, colorful sheen. It was used for practical purposes like serving food and holding items like a candy dish. It has become known as Carnival glass because it was given away or used as prizes at fairgrounds or carnivals, possibly due to an oversupply or an excess of poorer quality items being available in the 1920s and 1930s. Any idea what this is? We found it in the wall of our old house. It's pretty old, and it has WH24 stamped on the side. Google wasn't very helpful when I tried searching WH24. Can you please help me figure out what this is? It's a mid-century cast-iron gas burner for a wall heater, manufactured by the Quad Stove Manufacturing Company in the 1950s. It is a type of radiant heater designed for use in bathrooms or other small spaces. The unit mounts directly into the wall and runs on natural gas or propane. They feature ceramic radiant bricks behind a protective grate and a manual gas valve control. Please help identify this item. I found it in my grandpa's garage and I'm not really sure what it is. It's made of wood, and it has 1918 AEF and France engraved on it. Any help in identifying is much appreciated. It's a World War I era American Expeditionary Forces propeller tip photo frame. The hole is to hold a picture of a soldier in uniform. Some of these were made from real prop tips, and many were made using offcuts shaped to look like part of a prop. To be fair with this one, the size, shape, and construction resemble a real prop tip. Either way, it's a nice piece of trench art, the catch-all term for souvenirs made from or resembling war material, not necessarily made by soldiers, or even in the time of war though. The majority of trench art was made post-World War I by French civilians for the tourist trade. What are this large rectangular hangers found in an artist's home? I'm thinking they may or may not be art-related. About 3 feet long, and I'm trying to identify it for an estate sale. What are these used for? These are 1940s to 50s pant stretchers. I work at a really old hardware store, and we still have a pile of these hanging in the back, brand new. We ought to throw them in the scrap pile. They're not worth the space they've been taking up for the last 40 plus years. They are made of rust-resistant steel, and they put a nice crease in pants and get rid of the wrinkles. There are spring-loaded areas at the bottom that you can stretch out. Once they're inserted, you can add the hangers to the end of each one, then hung outdoors to dry. It was patented on September 8, 1942 by Daniel A. Eberhardt of St. Louis, Missouri. I found a weird-looking object. So I was door dashing and was making one delivery way out in another town. While dropping off the food, the owner of the house was knocking ice and snow off the roof. He mentioned that it was an old house built in 1765. We got to talking, and I mentioned that I was also into history as well. He said he was metal detecting outside one day, and he came across an old item on the ground. He doesn't know what it is, and I don't know what it is, so hopefully somebody here does. Thanks in advance. It's the Revolutionary War British cartridge pouch sling belt tip. It's the metal at the end of the straps, and the numbers and letter probably mean the 4th Battalion, 40th Regiment of Foot. Revolutionary War soldiers carried prepared cartridges in their cartridge pouches. A cartridge was made up of a lead ball with black powder wrapped in a paper tube, and these were then kept in the cartridge pouch. It was very important that these be made of heavy leather to keep out the elements. Otherwise, the cartridges could not be fired. Inside the pouch is a wooden block with holes cut for 9.69 caliber cartridges. Another interesting feature of this piece lies along the strap that holds the cartridge pouch. This is a slot that was sewn into the strap that would have held iron spikes and a hammer. These would have been used in the event the British had to retreat from the battlefield and leave their field pieces behind. So the artillerymen would have taken the spikes and driven them into the vent hole at the base of the cannon. This would have prevented the cannon from being used against them, so if the British were running away, the enemy couldn't come up, turn the field pieces around, and fire them at them. My friend Bob found it in his dad's garage after he died, and we had absolutely no idea what it was. It's an old picture. I'll have to talk to him and see if I can get a fresh one. It has a wooden handle and the rest of it is metal. This thing has plagued my thoughts for the better part of 10 years. It was in a toolbox from his dad's garage 20 years prior. When he got it out, he just hung it on a nail on the back of the door. There were several people there, and we contemplated what it was for a while, and whenever we would gather in Bob's garage. Bob, a man in his late 50s, said he had no idea. He is an interesting fella. Any ideas? Please let us know down in the comments. Thanks for watching. Let's make life fun.